Socrates, a name immortalized in the history of human thought. He never wrote a word, yet his ideas shaped philosophy, science, and ethics. His life and teachings have sparked countless debates, inspiring thinkers across centuries. Who was this enigmatic figure who lived over 2,500 years ago and still influences us today? Socrates was more than just a philosopher. He was a revolutionary. His relentless questioning of accepted truths and his unwavering commitment to virtue made him both admired and feared. But what made him stand out among the great minds of ancient Athens? Let's dive into the life, teachings, and enduring legacy of a man who questioned everything and changed the course of history forever. Socrates was born around 469 BC in Athens, a city at the height of its cultural and intellectual glory. His father, Socrates, was a stonemason, and his mother, Phaenarete, was a midwife. From them, Socrates would later draw metaphors to describe his own work. As his mother helped deliver babies, he claimed to help deliver ideas. Growing up in modest circumstances, Socrates did not seek wealth or fame. Early accounts describe him as an unassuming man, with simple habits and a focus on intellectual pursuits. Before dedicating himself to philosophy, Socrates served as a hoplite in the Athenian army, participating in notable battles such as Potidaea, Delium, and Amphipolis. He distinguished himself with courage and endurance, but his true battlefield would become the agora, the public space where ideas and debates thrived. The agora of Athens was a vibrant marketplace, bustling with merchants, politicians, and citizens. For Socrates, it was more than a place for trade. It was a forum for intellectual exchange. He wandered through the crowd, engaging anyone willing to converse, from politicians and poets to craftsmen and young students. Socrates believed that wisdom was not the exclusive domain of the elite. His dialogues aimed to challenge people's assumptions, urging them to think critically about concepts like justice, love, and virtue. Through his conversations, he exposed contradictions in their beliefs, leaving many frustrated but also enlightened. His approach was unconventional, and his insistence on questioning the status quo earned him admirers who saw him as a champion of reason, but also enemies who viewed him as a disruptor of tradition. Central to Socrates' philosophy was his method of inquiry, now known as the Socratic Method. Unlike traditional teaching, which involves conveying information, Socrates preferred to ask questions. His goal was not to provide answers, but to guide his interlocutors in uncovering their own understanding of fundamental truths. This method involved breaking down complex concepts into smaller, more manageable questions. For example, instead of defining justice outright, Socrates would ask, "What is justice?" and challenge the answers with further questions, exposing contradictions and encouraging deeper reflection. Socrates believed that acknowledging one's ignorance was the first step toward wisdom. He famously declared, "I know that I know nothing." This humility and dedication to truth-seeking remain cornerstones of critical thinking and education to this day. As Socrates' reputation grew, so did the opposition to his methods. Many admired his intellect and bravery, but others found his relentless questioning disruptive and even dangerous. In a time of political instability following Athens' defeat in the Peloponnesian War, Socrates became a convenient scapegoat for the city's woes. In 399 BC, Socrates was accused of corrupting the youth and introducing new deities, charges that reflected deeper tensions within Athenian society. During his trial, he delivered a bold and uncompromising defense, arguing that his questioning was a service to the city. He claimed that his role as a gadfly, provoking Athenians to think critically, was a divine mission. Despite his eloquence, Socrates was found guilty and sentenced to death. His refusal to escape or compromise on his principles sealed his fate. Socrates faces death with calm resolve, surrounded by his loyal followers. When the time came, he drank the cup of hemlock poison, choosing to die for his principles rather than live in dishonor. Plato, his most famous disciple, immortalized this moment in the dialogue Phaedo, describing Socrates' final discussion on the immortality of the soul. Even in his last hours, Socrates remained committed to seeking truth and understanding. His death marked the end of an extraordinary life, but the beginning of an enduring legacy. By accepting his sentence, Socrates transformed himself into a symbol of intellectual integrity and the pursuit of truth, inspiring future generations to question and seek knowledge. Socrates wrote nothing, but his ideas were preserved by his students, particularly Plato and Xenophon. Through their writings, Socrates' influence extended far beyond Athens, shaping the development of Western philosophy. His emphasis on ethics, the examined life, and the pursuit of universal truths became foundational to the works of philosophers like Aristotle and the broader tradition of Western thought. His method of questioning continues to inspire educators, lawyers, scientists, and thinkers worldwide. Socrates taught us that the search for truth is not just a philosophical exercise, but a way of life. His legacy reminds us to challenge assumptions, embrace critical thinking, and strive for a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us. Socrates lived to question and died for his convictions. Today, his voice echoes across millennia, inspiring humanity to seek wisdom and justice in an ever-changing world. Enjoyed this deep dive into the life of Socrates? Don't stop here. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell to discover more fascinating stories and insights that will challenge your mind. Join us on this journey of learning and inspiration. The next step in knowledge starts with a click.